Shalom, shalom to everyone watching here on the Ways of Israel. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero speaking directly from Pompano Beach, Florida. And one of the things we're going to continue is with this series by the writings of Rabbi Joseph Albo, a 15th century, one of our sages, you might say, in commentary, that basically responds to a lot of the issues he was dealing with of his time, which was Christianity's notion and this whole entire dispute. And he basically establishes certain foundations, fundamentals for Judaism. He does this knowing that afterwards or before Maimonides established 13 principles, and he reduces it to much shorter length to about 6 principles in general. And so a lot of his commentary is getting into what is the actual fundamental, and there are disagreements between Albo and that of Maimonides, as we are going to see this morning as we delve into Sefer Ha-Ikkarim, chapter 5. Now he mentions that there are 3 modes of life that are found among the animals. There are certain species that cannot live in aggregation, like the beast of prey. Sometimes human beings behave this way, which is interesting. Living together would harm them, for if many of them gathered into one place, they would kill and devour one another. There are others again whom the contrary is true. They cannot live except in companies and in groups. Association is essential for the continuance like the human species. But reason, this delicate constitution, the equability of the temperamental mixture of man is susceptible to cold and heat and other extremes. He needs therefore clothing to protect him from the heat and cold, and properly prepared food suitable for his temperament. These things cannot be accomplished except by the aggregation and association of many individuals who assist one another. One sews, one weaves, one makes needles, and with other arts, so that the individual obtain the food and clothing that he needs for existence and support. There are other species of animals which occupies an intermediate place, so to speak, between the 2 extremes. The aggregation is not injurious to their existence as it is with wild beasts, birds of prey, nor is it essential as a human species. But gregarious life is better for them than the life in isolation. Like many species of herbivorous animals and gentle birds going about in flocks for the sake of the company and convenience, and for no other reason, see, the gregarious life is not essential to them, as it is with human species. It is because of association and aggregation, says Albo, which are necessary for the existence and support of the human species, that the wise men have said that the man is apolitical by nature. They mean by this that it is almost necessary for man, by his nature, to live in a city or state with a large group of people, that he may be able to obtain what he needs for his life and support. It is clear, therefore, that the whole group residing in a city or district or region, or all the human beings in the world, should have some order which they follow in order to conduct and maintain justice in general, and suppressing what is considered wrong, so as to keep man from quarreling in their transaction and business relationships with one another. Such order would include protection against murder, theft, robbery, and the like. He enumerates a couple of the laws of Noahide, the Noahide law, and in general all of those measures which are calculated to maintain the political group and enable the people to live in welfare. This, and by the way, welfare here does not mean the government-run welfare, referring to the well-being of everyone. This order the wise men call natural law, meaning that by natural it is necessary for a man by his nature, whether the order emanates from a wise man or a prophet. Such a law, however, is not yet sufficient to order the needs of man in order to control their social life unless there is added to this a certain order of convention which embraces all social and commercial relationships and transactions of people, like the laws of the Roman emperors and the customs of the countries, and the statutes enacted by people of a district or a kingdom to maintain conventional justice. Such an order, as this is called, as a convention or conventional law. Conventional law cannot exist unless there is a ruler or a judge or a king placed at the head of the group or city who compels people to repress wrong and observe the law as to secure the welfare of the group. It follows, therefore, that the establishment of a king or a ruler or a judge is almost imperative for the continuance of the human species, seeing that man is a political by nature, as we have explained, says Albo. Now let's enter a little bit into chapter 6, since this was a very short chapter, and it gives us the opportunity to see a little bit more into Albo's way of thinking. If we reflect upon the formation of the animal species and the constitution of their organs, we find that the Creator has exhibited wonderful care in ordering their affairs and their every need in a remarkable way. He has provided not merely those things which are required for the maintenance of species or the individual, but also those things which are essential for this purpose, by which makes their state more perfect. For example, the duplication of the sense of organs in the animals to enable them to order their affair in a more satisfactory and complete manner, though it's not essential for the maintenance of their existence. We find such provision in inferior animals. How much more reasonable is it that he should provide for the noblest species in order its affair and order its affairs in accord with its higher character in an adequate manner, so as to enable it to maintain its perfection. If we look more carefully to this matter, we shall find that the divine influence by which those things are ordered which human species need for the attainment of the perfection for which it's destined is more essential than many things that we see in the formation of the lower animals. Such things as has a tendency to improve their condition, but are not indispensable for their existence. This divine influence may exist in particular persons only, yet it lends perfection to the entire species. The meaning of this is as follows. The various coming under the genre do not form a hierarchy of graded perfection. My meaning is that though it's true that among the various species there is one particular species that is more perfect than all the rest, yet this particular species alone is not the purpose of the whole genus, nor does it guide the whole genus to the perfection for which it is destined. For every species by itself contains in itself its own particular purpose and realizes its own perfection without reference to any species. But while this is so in relationship to species to one another under the genre and is different within the species, it is true here again that every species contains a number of classes of differing degrees of value. And thus, says Albo, the class of rulers has a greater measure of human perfection than the class of husbandmen, and the class of wise men is more perfect than that of the rulers. And similarly, within every class, some individuals are more perfect than other individuals of that class, and that superior individuals or class are not the purpose for which the species as a whole exists. Nevertheless, the superior individual or individuals or class are cause of the attainment by the species of the purpose for which is intended, because they lead to a species as a whole to its perfection. I mean that they are like instruments by means which species are enabled to attain its normal and perfection, though the parts of the species are unequal in degree. The following analogy will make it a little bit more clear according to Albo. Every individual has many different organs. All of them are necessary for the existence of the animal being. Though one is more perfect than the other, the third is still more perfect. and so until we reach the most important organ, which is the basis of the animal existence. The organ gives perfection to the animal. That is, it is its instrument by which the perfect life flows to the animal as a whole. Thus, the heart is the basis for the animal's existence, and it is the instrument by which life flows to all the other organs, and in particular to the brain, which in turn transmits the sensation and motion to all the other organs. Thus, the animal being maintains itself by the instrumentality, direct or indirect, of the heart. The same applies to mankind. All are equally human, yet human perfection reaches some individuals through the instrumentality of others, just as all the organs are necessary for the existence of individuals, and yet some stand on a higher in the scale than others. The same receive their vital forces through the instrumentality of others. So the class of wise men stand higher than others, and it is from the wise men that emanates the order which arranges the affairs of mankind so as to enable them to attain human perfection. This order is called conventional or positive law, according to Albo. Now, since we have said it stands to reason that divine providence should assist mankind to receive the benefits, even as we find that it provides things of less importance in the lower animals, it follows that the divine influence must inspire some individual of human race who is best fitted for it, that he may be the instrument or an instrument by which mankind may attain the perfection for which they are destined, either a direct instrument during his life or an indirect after death. By inspiring the wise men who come after him to guide mankind everywhere and always according to the teachings they have received from him or the ideas they derive from his writings, for the divine power is surely not unable to estimate the benefits so essential to the human race, and it perfects it continually in everybody and everywhere and anyone any more than it is unable to award the benefit that is necessary to the lower animals. The guidance which mankind receives from this individual is called divine law. It is relationship to other laws and customs, and is the same as the architectonic art to the other arts which are subordinate to it. In other words, Albo is looking now at this issue of individuals who are capacitated in certain ways than others that benefit others. This is why you'll see, for example, people who become billionaires can easily help those who want to achieve the same goal, in which they become somewhat relegated to learning from the billionaire, or in this case, learning from the wise man. Now, in our next video, we're going to take a look at chapter 7 of Ha-Ikkarim, which are the fundamentals concept, and he gets into the term of dat, or da'at, which really is a term to rule of customs in vogue among a large group of people. And it may be a body of rules embracing a great many commandments or commands as expressions, all that new that law and judgment, or may be applied to a single command. And this expression we're going to see in chapter 7 as to how far it was given out in Shushan, for example, in the capital of the Persians, and it applied to a divine law as an expression, as its right hand was a fiery law unto them, as well as a positive human law, like the laws of the Medes and Persians. And thus we see that everything that embraces the idea of law and order is something good and not something negative. That would be anarchy and disorder, and something that would be contrary even to Torah law, which we see that's taking place in our societies as a result of a rebellion against law and order, against what is correct and true. So we're going to pause here as we go into chapter 7 with Hashem's help this coming week. May Hashem bless you and keep you. May the Lord bless you kindly. And remember, be part of what we're doing. Share this video. Share this message. And it's very important that we arrive to a place we can be able to surpass our animalistic desires and help other people. Do what is right. Do a mitzvah. Give a donation. Help your fellow man. Now is the time to do charity. Now is the time to be able to do good to those that perhaps don't even merit the good. So may God bless you, and God keep you, and may God bless you from the bottom of my heart. My name is Rabbi Moshe Otero, and thank you for joining us here on the Ways of Israel. Shalom.